Okay, so welcome everyone to the evening meditation. So just giving yourself the next half an hour's time out to just refresh, re-energize, connect, set yourself up for a good night's sleep and a very peaceful flowing weekend ahead. So going somewhere where you're not going to be disturbed for the next half an hour, sitting comfortably in a meditation posture. So you want to sit your feet shoulder width apart. Cup your hands on your lap. Close your eyes. And start off by taking a nice deep breath in through the nose. So breathing in through the nose. You fill up the lower stomach. So you're breathing into the belly button, inflating the stomach like a balloon. And second phase of the breath into the heart center. Feel this lovely, warm, tingling sensation flowing up from the lower stomach and the lower spine into your chest, your heart center. And then on up the back of your spine into your crown. Just pause there at the top of the inhale. Connect with the stillness. So notice the gaps between breaths, the gaps between my words. The more you pay attention to the gaps, the more you start paying attention to the background, the ground of being, rather than the foreground, which is the domain of sense perception, sight, sounds, touch, taste, etc. Just scan your mind and notice any obviously distracting or disturbing thoughts. Maybe you're just carrying some mental and emotional static from the day, from the week. Just notice it. Notice the quality of the thoughts and the emotions. Notice how it feels mentally, physically, emotionally. And if you notice that it's not very nice, maybe there's a contraction, a tension, restriction, you just exhale and blow it all out with the breath. Just letting it all go. Sighing it all out. It's like the ocean wave just in the ocean subsiding back in. And then you notice the stillness again. Just connect with this exquisite stillness and the gap between breaths. So breathing in again, nice deep breath in. You show your belly's pushing out. As you breathe in, that means you're engaging with diaphragm. Second phase of the breath into the heart center. You feel this warm, tingling life energy rising up. Third phase of the breath into the head. The energy rises all the way into the head. And again, you pause there for a few seconds. Just notice the stillness, the gap between inhale and exhale. And then you exhale. Sigh it all out. Keep your mouth closed. Just exhaling out. Notice the vibration in your throat. Subtle flow of air out of your nostrils. Chest and stomach sucking back in. And again, you come to rest at the bottom of the exhale for a few seconds. Just notice this thoughtless awareness. Moments of no thought. Gaps in the mental stream. Pay attention to these. The job of spiritual practice is to expand the gaps. So breathing in again, stomach rises, chest rises, noticing all these things, just tuning in to the subtle sounds of the breath, the feelings, the sensations. This brings your mind into present moment awareness. It's like giving a dog a bone to chew when it wants to bark. It's going to stop barking. Same way when you focus the mind on the breath, it gives it something to occupy it. Really bring it totally into the present moment, which is what all meditation is really about. Doing. Then you exhale, sigh it all out, make a little sighing sound in your back of your throat. You keep the mouth closed, contract the throat. It's as though you're trying to fog sunglasses, but keep your mouth closed. The chest and the stomach suck back in. Yeah, and you pause at the bottom of the exhale. Just find the stillness. And repeat the cycle. And just step back and now watch the breath. So you set it in motion. The breath just kind of does its thing. And your mind can just step back and be the observer of this, the witness. Just watch. Notice how peaceful and calm you feel when you take this observer position. You just watch. It means that you're not your mind. It means it's a part of your mind that can watch. It's not the body, that is not the breath. And this part of your mind is your true self, your higher self, Christ in the ancient teachings, the Buddha. It's been called many, many things. Doesn't matter what you really call it. It's the essence of who you really are, your true awareness. It can never leave you. Doesn't matter what thoughts and emotions blow through your mind. They're like cloud patterns, just obscuring briefly the sky, which is eternal. The sky is always there, it never goes away. The same way your true awareness, your Christ self, can never leave you. Doesn't matter what delusions and fantasies your mind conjures up, what pain you think you're in. This awareness is still there, just waiting for you to become aware of it, to allow it to start to run your mind and your life. And this is the goal of all true spiritual practice, to unite with this true self. So in that vein, I'm going to read to you a passage. It's a preliminary section to a series of 10 workbook lessons we're on at the moment from A Course in Miracles on what is the Christ. Bear in mind this is being written, so this answer is coming from the man who became the Christ. Jesus the Christ was a title because he united his mind with the Christ self, and he became one with that while he was a human being, apparently. So he transcended human limitations and ascended unto the Christ. So listen to what he has to say about what is the Christ. So you keep watching your breath, just with these nice, deep, slow, rhythmical breaths. You just notice Just watch the breath, the stomach rise, the chest rise, subtle flow of air into the nostrils. And you exhale, there's the subtle sound, the vibration, air flowing out of your nostrils, chest and stomach sucking back in. So just watching all of this going on in the background. So your mind is very still, calm, open, empty, but aware. The idea, listening in this meditative way, is that you drop your conscious defenses. You just allow these words to slip through those defenses because you've lowered them temporarily, and so they can seep in to a deeper part of your mind, into your subconscious, where your core beliefs reside, core beliefs about who you are, what your purpose here is, what is reality. These are the fundamental beliefs that this course seeks to change. So it must start happening at the subconscious level. So just listening without attempting to intellectually understand, to judge, to label, to interpret, analyze, evaluate, dissect, compare, contrast, any of those movements of the egoic mind. Just lay all that aside for the next 15 minutes. And just let these words penetrate in to this deeper part of your mind, permeate into your awareness. And I'll remind you to do that every so often. So let's listen to this answer to the question, what is the Christ? Christ is God's Son, as He created Him. Okay, so if you don't like the language, God's Son, see this is Christian terminology. Remember, the words are pointers to universal truths in the mind. So you could easily just say Christ is love's extension, as love created it. And that would mean exactly the same thing. So I will do this translation for you into more vernacular language as we go along. And just use whichever form of it you find most helpful. Christ is the self we share, uniting us with one another and with God, or love, with a capital L, as well. Okay, God is love, but not the kind of love we think is love. It's not special love. It's not love for one person or one thing or one object. It's a transcendent, all-encompassing, unconditional love. It's always there, cannot go away. So Christ is the thought which still abides within the mind, that is His source, or that is its source. Christ is not really gender specific, transcends that. Christ has not left His holy home, nor lost the innocence in which He or it was created. He or it abides unchanged forever in the mind of God, in the mind of love. So just pause, connect with your breath again, make sure you're still breathing. Bring these nice, deep, slow, rhythmical breaths. Keeping your mind very calm, clear, empty, open, but aware. Empty vessel to receive these profound ideas from a man who attained the Christ as a human being. So it's a man we can learn from. He's no longer a man, of course, but he's been here, done it, understands the human condition is. He understands the difficulties we face here. And this course is an attempt to help us to transcend those difficulties. So let's continue with the passage. Christ is the link that keeps you one with God, one with love, and guarantees that separation is no more than an illusion of despair, for hope forever will abide in him. Your mind is part of his, and his of yours. He is the part in which God's answer lies, in which love's answer lies, where all decisions are already made and dreams are over. He remains untouched by anything the body's eyes perceive. For though in him his Father placed the means for your salvation, yet does he remain the self who, like his Father, or his source, his creator if you prefer, knows no sin. Just pause, reflect on that. Christ is this sinless self-concept that is one with the source that created the mind. Only this self-concept unites you with your source. If you have a false self-concept, then you by definition are separate from your source. So it all comes down to what you identify with in your mind. Just keep watching your breath, staying very calm, still, empty, open, and aware. Let's continue. So home with the Holy Spirit, and at home in God or love alone, does Christ remain at peace within the heaven of your holy mind? This is the only part of you that has reality and truth. The rest is dreams. Yet, will these dreams be given unto Christ, to fade before his glory and reveal your holy self, capital self, the Christ, to you at last. Pause again, keep watching your breath. So the Christ is just your true self, your holy self, higher self. This higher self concept that is totally innocent, totally pure, totally loving, that is never in truth left its home in love. It is still united with love, which is the source of all it is. So the Holy Spirit reaches from the Christ in you to all your dreams and bids them come to him to be translated into truth. He will exchange them for the final dream, which God or love appointed as the end of dreams. For when forgiveness rests upon the world and peace has come to every son of God, to every fragment of the one mind, what could there be to keep things separate? For what remains to see except Christ's face? And how long will this holy face be seen, when it is but the symbol that the time for learning now is over? The goal of the atonement has been reached at last. So therefore let us seek to find Christ's face and look on nothing else. As we behold his glory, we know we have no need of learning, or perception, or of time, or anything except the Holy Self. The Christ whom God created as his Son. And so just pause, briefly breathe, reflect on that. Jesus is telling us that only this Holy Self, the higher self, the Christ, will unite us with love allow us to realize that we are just an extension of the loving mind that is the source of all true creation. And so let's move on to today's lesson 273. Take a nice deep breath in. Through the nose, you fill up the lower stomach, blowing that out like a balloon. Second phase of the breath to the heart center, you feel this life energy rising up. The heart center into the upper chest, into the head. Pause at the top of the inhale. Just connect with the stillness in the gap between breaths, and the gaps between my words. And into this stillness, just drop today's core idea from lesson 273. The stillness of the peace of God is mine. Just feel that stillness coming over you. Feel the peace, the tranquility. As Jesus says, perhaps we are not ready for a day of undisturbed tranquility. If you notice any thoughts, any emotions that disturb your tranquility, just observe them with the same awareness that you observed your breath, quite detached. And let them go as you exhale. As you blowing them out like a black smoke out of your mouth. And that energy is leaving out of every pore and every cell and muscle in your body. Leaving your energy system, which is just a reflection of your mind. Pull the lower stomach into the spine, so you're completely empty. Just notice the stillness and the peace of God, peace of love that is yours, and claim it now, just by feeling it, by experiencing it. And if this is not yet feasible, your mind's jumping around and thoughts going on. And Jesus says we are content and even more than satisfied to learn how such a day can be achieved. If we give way to a disturbance, let us learn how to dismiss it and return to peace. We need but tell our minds with certainty, the stillness of the peace of God is mine. And nothing can intrude upon the peace that God, or love himself, has given to his Son, to love's extension. Just keep watching your breath, breathing in a nice deep breath in, breathing in the peace, the stillness that this lesson points to. So you breathe in this energy of peace, breathing it into every cell of your body. It's infusing your entire body with beautiful, peaceful, calm feeling. Say, Father, your peace is mine. Source, Creator, your peace is mine. What need have I to fear that anything can rob me of what you would have me keep? I cannot lose your gifts to me. And so the peace you gave your Son, your extension, is with me still in quietness and in my own eternal love for you. Exhale out the mouth. And just letting everything go with the breath. So it's the breath to help you surrender deeply into this peace, the stillness of the peace of God that is yours right here, right now, not sometime in the future. So give yourself the next 2 minutes of silence just to sink in, to surrender to the peace of love. There's nowhere else to go, there's nothing else to do, nothing else to think about for the next 2 minutes. Just breathe, relax, be still, and let the stillness reveal the peace of God and the peace of love to you, and accept it as your own for the next 2 minutes of silence. So just gently coming back into an awareness of the body through the breath. Same way we entered the meditation, we're going to come out of it. So noticing the stomach rise. As you breathe in, the chest rise, a subtle flow of air into your nostrils. Life energy rising up, nice warm tingling feeling, rising up the back of the spine into the head. Pause at the top of the inhale. And the exhale, just sighing it all out. Chest and stomach suck back in. There's the vibration in your throat, air flowing out of your nostrils. So you're still very present in the moment. There's no thought of past or future. So that's 1. On the count of 3, you're going to open your eyes. So 2, just noticing your other body senses. What are you feeling with your hands? Notice the weight of your body pressing into the chair, your feet touching the ground. Maybe there's a subtle taste in your mouth, a smell in your nose. Just noticing all of that. What are you hearing? Just tuning into the subtle sounds in your environment. So for instance, I can hear the whirring of my computer fan, some crickets in the distance. But underneath all of this, really pay attention to the stillness. Beneath my words, beneath any sounds, is the stillness that the lesson points to. This is where you will find the stillness of the peace of God. It's always there. It's the ground of being. It's underlying reality. The only thing that keeps you away from it is your own awareness of something else. So 3, opening your eyes. Just look around in this very clear, calm, still and peaceful state of mind. Just let your eyes rest on whatever they happen to rest on. Objects near, objects a bit further away, look around you. Don't label anything, name anything, judge anything. The mind is just calm, quiet. There's no mental interpretation, there's no thought about what you're seeing. And this state of thoughtless awareness is where you'll find the stillness and the peace of God. And so hopefully you've experienced that quite deeply in the last half an hour in meditation. But even now you're back in the domain of sense perception. You can still experience it. It's still there, it hasn't gone anywhere. It just requires a bit more vigilance because you've now got sights and sounds bombarding you all the time. It's very easy for the mind to latch on to these things, start creating a story and meaning. And then those thoughts create disturbance in the mind. It creates mental thought forms and they create emotions, often negative emotions that don't make us feel very good. It's all just interpretation, it's perception, based on what we see and hear and touch and taste and feel. And we interpret these things. So this lesson points to a state that's way beyond perception. Stillness of the peace of God comes from a place that is beyond perception, that is beyond this world. So just resolve to stay connected to this for the rest of the evening and on into your weekend. To do that, you can practice the idea frequently, every hour until you go to bed. If you're in the WhatsApp group, I sent you a short recording that you can use. You can use that before bed, or you can listen to this longer meditation before bed if you've got the recording, just to help you stay rooted in the stillness and the peace of God. And the more you do that, the more that will start to become your default state. You'll be able to carry that with you into your normal daily life. And that's what spiritual transformation is all about. It's not just about sitting in meditation 24/7, which for 99.99% of the population is unrealistic. It's about meditating and then taking this stillness, this peace, this transformed state of mind, and then living in that state while you continue to operate normally in the world. But you will have a different energy, a different quality about you and your thoughts and your words and your actions. You're going to be coming from this deeper place. This is what it means to be the Christ in the world. And this has been done by people like Jesus and Buddha and many spiritual masters who've brought this Christ presence into the world through the way they chose to live their lives. So that is the task of all of us. I wish you well on that journey. I hope this meditation has helped. I wish you the stillness of the peace of God this evening and on into the weekend. So looking ahead to tomorrow, we're going to do a meditation at 12:30. It's British Summer Time, UK time currently. It's 11:30 GMT time and 1:30 South African time. And again at 4 p.m. GMT, 5 p.m. British Summer Time, 6 p.m. South African time. So join me then. If you're on YouTube, if you'd like to join the afternoon one, go to freemeditations.online. freemeditations.online. You can register and you can join us in the Zoom room, or you can log in the evenings to these meditations that are broadcast on YouTube. Sign up to my channel, subscribe to the channel, and you'll be notified when I go live. So thank you for listening. I wish you the stillness of the peace of God this evening and on into the weekend. Peace.